Hello and welcome to this instalment of Talking Trim. I'm Jonathon Skinner and today we're looking at the cockpit cabin rails and cappings for the MGA Coupe models. So what we've got here is a set of fully trimmed up cappings. Now standardly our kits, whether you're buying individually or as part of our trim panel kit, which includes these bits and bobs, they include the materials to retrim your current cappings. What we've got here is an example of some fully trimmed up cappings which a customer has sent to us for us to retrim, as he wanted to just effectively have as near as to plug and play as possible in terms of getting his car ready. So we've done this. These particular cappings have actually been trimmed up in full leather. He's gone for a full leather interior, so all of the door panels, quarters, etc., seats, absolutely everything in leather, no vinyl elements whatsoever. So we've carried that on for these cappings here, and like I say, he sent us his old ones, which the actual cappings themselves are original, but they were retrimmed very badly, probably in the sort of 1990s, and so we have freshened them up where possible and retrimmed them. So like I say, majority of the time all we're doing is supplying materials to recover your original ones, but if you wanted to send us your originals, we can trim them up for you here. Starting at the front of the car, you have the dash top crash roll, effectively, that goes from left to right. Sits just above the dash fascia on the vertical like that, and it's a wood panel with obviously the fixings through them. It then has a D rubber on it, and then it's trimmed all the way around, and then it's piped. The piping we put on the top and the bottom edges. Now, it's a bit of a subject of debate with the MGAs about the all the elements of the piping there, because especially the bottom one here, where some of the cars had piping attached to the top of the dash fascia panel, which effectively, I believe, eliminated the need to have it on the bottom of this dash top here. But what we do, both in our kits and if you were to send us your cappings, is we cover our bases. It's very easy for you to take that piping off, but quite hard to put it on. So we're covering our bases. We are trimming it on there, and the customer might end up taking it off at his end. We've already supplied him with the loose piping that he may or may not put on the dashboard fascia, so just bear that in mind. It's worth bearing in mind as well, the piping is slightly different thickness on the top and the bottom, and that is as per original specification there. It's worth noting as well, for leather kits, we do skive our leather as standard for any applicable parts that we feel it would be useful for. The process of skiving leather is thinning it down, taking the back off it, and it makes it very useful during the trimming process as things become more pliable. So just bear that in mind. We include that as standard on any parts that we deem appropriate. Just to reference in this book here, we're talking about that area there. So just above the dash fascia, you had this crash roll capping there. So that's that piece there. Now moving on to the door tops, he had a pair of them. Again, woodwork at the angle, and that's this panel here just above the door here. Now, piping wise, some of them had piping, others did not. This particular customer has sent us photos of the trim before it came out, and he wants the piping on there. So we put the piping on this top edge here, and we've extended it down, which again, bit of a subject of debate on these cars, whether the piping went sort of down here. But again, we like to cover our bases. It's easy enough for you to snip that off if you don't need it, but impossible for you to add it on. So we always cover our bases of these things, and we like to oversupply where possible. Trimmed up the rest of the capping. It's worth noting on these cappings here, originally they had a metal clip bracket for affixing to the door, as well as some Velcro. The customer has those at his end, just FYI. At this point here, it's worth noting there are links in the description below to other associated videos, and in fact we did an exact OEM spec of door top cappings for a customer over in America earlier this year. So I've got some photos and videos of that with the Velcro and the metal clips on, so it's worth checking that out. Then moving further back, we're talking about the little panels just above the quarter panels. You can barely see them there. They're kind of behind there basically as it loops around the car, so it's just above the quarter panels. They're a millboard material, trimmed all the way around. We've used his original ones. We did offer to completely replace them, but he wanted everything to be exactly how it was in the car, in terms of even down to the fixing holes and not having to think about that. So he figured once it's all in the car, you're never going to really notice anyway. So they're pretty decent nick. So you get a pair of those. Then at the back of the car, you have this rear capping here, which again is a wood material. It has a foam padding on it, and that goes in the vertical like that, and that is this piece here. So it sits next to the rear parcel shelf above the cavity where the spare wheel and rear bulkhead were. So it's this one here with the fixings going along, obviously, which you have the holes for here. Again, trimmed all the way around. Yeah, so I think that kind of covers it. Just wanted to do a brief video just showing those there. Yeah, worth checking out the description below. There'll be lots of useful links to elements of this kit here and what we supply, useful links to where to buy these kits on our website, associated videos that you might find useful, as well as our materials and colours library, which is always worth a read if you're at the starting points of your restoration, and as well the blog handbook area, which really goes into detail about the processes and technologies that we use as a business. We're very proud of the way we do things. We do things very differently to a lot of suppliers out there, and we've got a fantastic name worldwide for our quality and workmanship, unmatched and unparalleled by anyone. And these articles, which are always evolving, give a bit of a glimpse into that, why we do things the way we do them and the results of that. So worth checking that out, because it really is what sets us apart from the competition. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe and share with other classic car enthusiasts, and I'll see you next time.